Well, hello there. ¿Cómo estamos, minasan? I hope you guys are doing well this morning, afternoon, evening. It is I, your data guardian angel, Tanea Bristenchi. How are you all doing this fine time of day? I need to get around to setting my position. But it is what it is. Ugh. Traffic was terrible today because it was raining like heck. Hey Chaos, hi Panda, hey Wyvern, how y'all doing? It was raining like crazy today, or at least maybe not like crazy, but consistently enough that with one drop of water down here, everybody kind of panics that they're gonna slip and slide, even though, you know, it's not uncommon for it to rain down here. But whatever.
Nice.
Okay, I'm all topped off. I want to destroy that balloon though, just because I want to. It reset, so I'm going to destroy it. Alright, let's try and get going because we got a lot of things to do, I bet. And away we go. And this time there was not a big group of us, it was only the one ball. Hooray, we win! What do we win? A lifetime supply of Soul Glad. Didn't want it, don't care.
Congratulations to the Galactic Baseballer and Firefly on becoming this Scorched Sand Festival's champion! We look forward to their amazing entrance in the Charmony Festival!
I could have actually gone here and we could have stopped here, but I wasn't sure if it was going to kick me through a cutscene or not. Why is it only my picture that's up there? Where's Firefly's picture, huh? I think she should be offended. She should be offended. Only got my picture. No, I was gonna pick it up. Why are you taking... Why are they here?
Congratulations to the both of you on becoming the festive superstars of this year's Charmony Festival. Before entering the Grand Theater, I, on behalf of the organizers,
hi, Sunday.
extend my
For some reason, it didn't sound like Sunday to me.
congratulations to you, wishing you joy under their radiance.
Hello. I want the third. I'm hitting the third one, by the way. All I get are sincere congratulations. Where are my stellar jades?
Your endeavors are worthy of extra recognition.
Thank you.
And I've taken steps to ensure that.
Okay.
However, this reward is not a material one,
What a waste.
but rather the opportunity for an open and honest communication between us.
Are you telling me you weren't open and honest before
As
that?
previously promised, my sister, Mr. Yang, and I have met with the Dream Master.
Again
We
with
delved
this,
into
things
the truth
happening off
about
screen.
Penacony and its Stellaron, and have come to a consensus.
This makes no sense. Okay. Thank you, Poyo, for allowing us to play as, you know, other characters that are relevant to a particular story plot. But here's the problem. You can't now have things happen off screen. You have to have us play through them. Now, don't get me wrong. Argenti, who's never been seen in the main story, that's fine. That something happened off screen regarding Argenti. If it was only Argenti, that would have been fine. Oh, it's gonna be a flashback? Either way, but no. This isn't a book. You can't do things out of order. Except for when it's a flashback. And by flashback, I mean like, oh yeah, this happened like before the game started, i.e. all of the stuff we saw with adventuring, you know? Well, okay, there's a couple things with adventuring we didn't see, but it was before we even met adventuring. We've met Mr. Sunday, and all of a sudden, he's doing stuff behind the scenes. I don't know. It's just frustrating that, you know, okay, apparently adventuring got saved by Argenti off screen. We played as adventuring, though. Can we see that? Oh, we had a discussion with the Dream Master. Why did we cut away from it then before we saw? Can we see the thing? And if not, how about before I see that Sunday's here, we go over, talk with the you know, do that conversation, then come back here and be like, oh, here's Mr. Sunday. Just don't have him like. Oh, but then it's not a surprise that Mr. Sunday's actually here. Yeah. You want to know how you fix that in writing, by the way? You say, now that we've, you know, settled that, I'm going to, granted, we'll see what actually happens in the flashback, but assuming that everything just went, you know, conversation smoothly and then Mr. Sunday left, I have something to attend to regarding the Charmony Festival. Ooh, here. Oh, it's a surprise. This is what he was talking about. Okay. But I'm assuming there's going to be a big to-do with whatever the flashback is, but it's like, it could be a big to-do then, and it could be a big to-do now. It makes no difference. I bet you I'm not going to be... I bet you when I see the flashback, I have the 110% feeling when I see the flashback of what happened during that conversation, I'm going to be disappointed. Because it's something that could have happened after we beat Argenti, but before we met Mr. Sunday. In one of the loading screens. We bump back over to either play as Yang, Sunday, or Robin, right? And no, I'm gonna be disappointed regardless. Let's just go.
Both I and the Oak family cannot acquiesce to your request.
Are we on TV, by the way? I'm stopping only because I have a question now. Are we still on like the broadcast thing? And we're talking about something here that's a little bit more private, per se, that they probably don't want getting out? I assume they were not.
Just as expected.
I didn't think so.
Because
the announcer made it sound like we were on TV still.
Nameless. Penacony does require change, but not as you propose.
Okay. Then what is the change that you propose?
The festivities cannot and will not revert to a place characterized by chaos, disorder, or anarchy.
Okay.
Through your journey of overcoming obstacles, you must have glimpsed the essence of that era. The vulnerable ruthlessly eliminated, equality non-existent, common folk living precarious lives, eking out a dreary existence.
Sunday, they're doing that now too, so going back to it doesn't change a damn thing. Like, if we were reverting to something that was worse, at least in the temporary basis, let's assume that we're right and it's actually better for everybody. But let's assume, for sake of argument, for a temporary basis, for the temporary basis, it's gonna go to anarchy and is absolutely terrible. Fine. But everything you just said is happening now too. So unless you have a different plan that you haven't told us, can you get to the point?
Ultimately, only heroes like yourselves manage to achieve success.
This is what we were discussing yesterday. Or
Ask,
he was discussing with Robin.
If you did not possess the special status of having a Stellaron, and you were but an anonymous and frail member among the masses, which Penacony would you prefer?
Oh, easy peasy. Because his framing is already flawed. You want to know why? He says, if you weren't special by possessing a Stellaron, but were otherwise yourself, in technicality, right? He doesn't say anything in specific. What would you do? I'd still be against him. You want to know why? Because I'd probably be still traveling with the Nameless nonetheless. Stellaron or no. I just happen to have the ability to be able to switch out pretty easily, you know?
A dystopia for the survival of the fittest? or a sweet dream paradise for all?
You are overselling the sweet dream, okay? You are absolutely overselling the sweet dream. And you are underselling what survival of the fittest can actually bring to people. Don't get me wrong. I do see it. I do see your point of view. As we talked yesterday, I have an open mind. I do understand that it is a very difficult thing for people to kind of deal with, survival of the fittest setup, right? But you are underselling it and you're overselling your side. There's nothing wrong with being the fittest. Sweet Dream Paradise doesn't sound too bad. I don't know. Why are you asking me? What do I want to look for here? 'Cause I don't like any of these. I don't know why you asking me is not an answer. As I've already established, I don't agree with the Sweet Dream Paradise because again, he's overselling it. I'm not saying that he's wrong, but he's overselling it. But the other one I don't like. There's nothing wrong with being the fittest. Sure, of course there's nothing wrong with being the fittest, but not everybody's going to be the fittest, and that's the problem. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Move on. I'm going with at least my decision on it.
That's not the point. Don't let him mislead you.
March, I said that there's nothing wrong with being the fittest. Technically, whatever. That obviously she was going to answer that regardless of what I chose.
Mr. Sunday, even if the members of the Oak family can't fully agree on what to do about the Stellaron, now's not exactly the time to be holding an extensive discourse about Penacony's past and future, is it?
I have a feeling that yes, it is. That's why he was panicking when Robin went missing, because he needed her to do something during the Charmony Festival that is not what the Oak family wants, but obviously it's also not what we want.
The Stellaron issue concerns the life and death of everyone on
I have an
Penacony.
idea in my
If anyone
cranium.
has a better suggestion, the crew is more than willing to listen. Also, it'd be best to tell us the ins and outs of that meeting. This way, we'll at least know what Welt and Miss Robin are dealing with, and the reason why they failed to make our appointment.
Navigator. That is precisely my intention. With all present, let's begin by discussing the details of that meeting. Let's talk about our tribulations and choices, our ideals and beliefs, and our final course of action. The only path to take.
There's never one path to take. Now, is there a best path to take? Usually, but there's never only one path to take. There's a path that is, there could be that is the path that is terrible and a path that's great, but not necessarily both at the same time. Only one path to take. No, there's not. There's not only one path to take. Shut up, Sunday. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about, buddy. Now here's the
You mean to
flashback.
say that for the longest time, there have been scoundrels who would use this Charmony Festival that I have bequeathed to the masses as a tool to realize their ambition?
I'ma laugh. Okay? Just a little bit, I'ma laugh. Because of the fact that if I'm right, and Sunday has an idea on how to use the Charmony Festival to his own ends, the fact that the Dream Master is saying this line is gonna be funny.
Indeed, Dream Master. Once the Charmony Festival begins, the Stellaron's powers, along with the song, will be broadcast across the entire planet of Penacony. And then everyone in their dreams will be unable to awaken.
Good. I'm wondering who's gonna be the one to say that.
This is indeed surprising to me. The dreamscape is maintained by the collective effort of the 5 families. If someone were to use the Charmony Festival to recklessly disseminate the power of the Stellaron, this individual must hold a position of great authority.
Oh, I wonder who it could be.
Do you have any suspects?
I have one.
I'd like to ask, did you really not know of the Stellaron's existence?
I would have never thought that this nameless would point the spear at me. Quite astonishing indeed.
That line is actually kind of funny because obviously we've established Whippert is a suspect. I don't know about that, but if it wasn't for the fact that obviously in this game we've established specifically that the Nameless are a group of people following the Trailblaze Akivili, right? That line sounds more like, I wouldn't have thought that this nobody would try and point a spear at me. Huh, who do you think you are? But obviously we know what the Nameless are.
If I have offended, the Astral Express extends its sincere apologies. But the current circumstances are dire and leave no room for meticulous inquiry. We're doing this out of concern for the Dreamscape's safety. So, if you could, please alleviate our concerns.
I do understand one thing here, and this is probably a translation bit per se. If I have offended, the Astral Express sends its sincere apologies. I know technically it's because he's representing the Astral Express, but it is kind of funny to think, you know, in a different aspect, right? If I have offended, the Astral Express sends its apologies. I won't apologize for that shit. I am trying to stab you in the throat with this question to see what the fuck is going on.
Dream Master, it's just to prove that the Charmony Festival has nothing to do with the Stellaron. If we're being overly cautious, I will return to the stage to offer tribute in song, just per the arrangement.
Sunday, Robin. I've watched you two grow up and know your dispositions like the back of my hand. Both of you, right now, can surely be lauded as their most devout advocates. I already know your resolve.
And assuming that he is telling the truth, that he knows their dispositions very well, and they can both be lauded as the advocates, that shows that there are multiple paths, Sunday, to the same point. Robin has one view of the world to still kind of bring the harmony into play, and you have another. Neither is wrong, they're just different ways to get to this, hopefully the same aspect.
The magnitude of this matter is enormous.
No.
It cannot be taken lightly.
Really?
Since Mr. Yang has asked with such earnestness, I will personally respond in kind. If there is a need, the entire Oak family will be mobilized to heed your call.
That doesn't answer his question, though. His question is, did you really not know that the Stellaron was there?
Someday, might I ask you to beseech them to cast their light unto me, and
The
question
harmony is what
me
it
in
is.
their
That,
stead,
the them and
so
there.
that no lies may be concealed.
Oh, okay.
I will do as you command.
Basically establishing the same thing that was done to Adventuring.
Robin, could I entrust you to be present as a witness, to document the truth, and to proclaim my innocence, so that all slander may be utterly dispelled?
I will do as you command.
May thy will be carried out on earth, just as it is in the heavens.
I would comment on how this is an Earth, but it's lowercase e, so let's talk about the Earth, the ground.
Oh, triple-faced soul. Please sear his tongue and palms with a hot iron, so that he will not be able to fabricate lies and make false vows.
I like the fact that Sunday's looking at the crow, which is clearly the Dream Master, not what he's got in front of them talking, right?
Let us begin. There is nothing else to prepare.
Also, triple-faced soul. Does that mean that the harmony is the same god as the one that Adventuring kept talking about? I'm forgetting its name at the moment, but are they the same? Technically, the one and the same, just different names for the same thing, or?
Understood. Question. Have you devoted your life to your god, never worshipping other gods?
Naturally.
Do you love your god as you do yourself? always heeding their admonishments.
I love the it's not the Amber Lord. The Amber Lord, I assume, is the Harmony. I love the fact that it's vague questions, by the way. Do you follow the path of your god? Yes. Do you love your god as you do yourself, always following your god? Hasn't mentioned that it's the Harmony.
Naturally.
Have you strayed from the path expected by your god, betraying their name?
Never.
Have you ever been inordinate with your asks of your god, coveting more than the foundation of the creation itself?
Never.
Then, a final question. Do you swear to fulfill all vows, past, present, and future?
With the Eon as my witness, if I do not deliver on my words, or if I renege on my vows, may I be cursed in accordance with divine law.
And he was ready
They
for it.
have seen your faith, and have endorsed your faith. With this, it can be evidenced.
Just a moment.
What is it, Mr. Yang?
I have another question I hope to have answered. To my understanding, the family's harmony and prosperity have never relied on so-called divine laws.
To your understanding, the Ember Lord is the god that adventuring the IPC follow. Oh no, but the Amber Lord is the perseverance. No, the preservation. Klapoth. Yes, I'm talking about the god that he was born under. Remember the triple-faced god that brought the rain. I'm bringing this up specifically because of the way that a lot of gods way back in the day, specifically Greek and Roman gods, they kind of just moved around under different names. And in fact, even the Greek gods weren't technically the original gods, at least not all of them. Some of them came from further east, where Phoenicia and all that other stuff came from, you know? So that's my point, is that god, I'm trying to remember her name, the goddess, but since he mentioned the triple-faced god here as the Harmony, I wonder if it's worshipping the same god under two different names, you know, in technicality, because of a lack of understanding.
The god you both mentioned, are they truly Shipe?
He caught exactly what I was saying. I love the fact that he caught that, because I had caught that at the start. I was like, this is super vague. They keep talking about a god, and them there, so on and so forth, but not which one. Specifically, the Harmony, Shipe, or are we gonna go with Klapoth and, you know, the Ember Lord, the preservation, or maybe another? You know what? Let's look it up real quick, just to see, because I know that she has 3 faces too. That was the whole point. Let's see. Adventuring HSR, to make sure we don't get the actual stone, which I had never heard of before this, but it actually does exist. Let's see. Begonia was the world he was born on. Gaiathra. Gaiathra. Something Gaiathra. But she has 3 faces too. Now, in the wiki in specific, it does say they develop their own folk beliefs independent of the Aeon belief system. Instead, they worship that of the goddess Gaiathra. But, as I mentioned, in technicality, you could have a person pray to a god that sounds different but is technically the same if you follow the trail of how that god kind of got there. You get me? And if you have the chance, look up Overly Sarcastic Productions take on specifically Aphrodite, because Aphrodite started as a love and war god technically related to Ishtar all the way out east, became Aphrodite under two different aspects, and then went further west to Rome and got its war, or at least government aspect back again, which is kind of funny. But anyway, point still stands that people kind of can, in technicality, worship the same god without them realizing that it's the same god, because it feels like a whole different thing. Oh, I love Greek mythology, dude. That was my jam growing up. I loved reading and watching stuff on the Odyssey and all that, and all those Greek mythologies. It's so good. But the point stands that because Gaiathra and he did mention the three-faced god. Is she been a three-faced god? Now I think about it, that might actually even be more a better question, right? Jipe might not even be a three-faced god. I know I'm delaying this even further. Oh, yeah, they are. I see an image here. They are a three-faced god. Okay. But then my question still stands. Could Gaiathra and Jipe be the same god, just worshipped under different contexts because of either lack of understanding or something to that degree, you know? Of course, all of this is assuming that the gods actually exist. In the case of this, obviously HSR, they do. But in the case of our talk about the Greek and all that jazz, technically no. It's just talking about the, or at least there's no evidence thereof, because they're gods, that ever happened.
Mr. Yang should know that those belonging to the family toil together as if they were kin.
Still haven't answered the question.
Embracing solidarity and unity under their light. All duplicity is laid bare before the harmony.
The harmony is not necessarily Jipe. Jipe is the harmony, but the harmony, you could talk about the harmony in a different context. You can still be hiding something.
Such a delicate and complex symphony. Which other god could perfectly harmonize this, if not for the great one? Jipe.
There we go. At least he finally used the proper name.
Perfectly harmonize. Therein lies the problem. It isn't an outsider lurking in the shadows who changed the harmony, but a dissonance that has surreptitiously emerged from within this very symphony itself.
That is a good point, yeah.
In the distant past, there existed an eon. With one flick of the wrist, they crafted the laws of the cosmos. Their followers formed the Beyond the Sky Choir, spreading solemn and reverent hymns throughout the universe.
There are many, some of this belief system is kind of a little weird.
Later, they fell. The route traversed by this eon clashed with the harmony, ultimately being absorbed and fused into it. The chorus that once reverberated across worlds fell silent, and when it echoed anew, it was transformed into the hymn of harmony.
Oh man, I'm thinking so much about Greek mythology right now with how that works. Because there was another Greek mythology god, Greek god, that had a similar story, not like, if you look at the history and how it goes along, had a similar thing, where it kind of clashed into a different god that the Greeks already had, so they just had it absorb it, and then it took on both aspects at the same time. I forget it was Greek or Roman at this point. I need to look that up again.
Though an eon may perish, paths with no masters still linger.
They know that
In the
very well.
all-forgiving harmony, echoes of bygone dissonance may subtly arise.
Yeah, the all-forgiving harmony.
Mr. Yang, being overly astute can be a detriment. Especially when you find yourself alone and without allies.
That first part of the line reads, you know, you're being a smartass.
So this is how it is.
For the sake of our grand cause, Sunday, please afford these two an opportunity to rest.
What?
Of course. Okay, the only thing that was slightly a surprise about this was that that the Dream Master's in on it too. I actually thought
Sorry,
Sunday was
Robin.
acting on
It's
his own.
just you. I did not wish for you to know this. It's a pity that things have turned out this way.
So, this is the true reason I can't sing? The shadow that envelops Penacony is actually...
We were never children of the harmony. Our ideal paradise could not have been crafted by Shipe. True bliss can only be guaranteed by the one who transcends the many.
Can we get a name?
Within the foundation of law, humanity establishes civilization, and through harmony, we obtain order.
This is sounding a lot like Red Winter Academy right now. Just saying. Through harmony, we're all equal, but I'm more equal than you. Just another book quote. I'm sorry. I am more equal than others. In technicality, order.
Unbelievable.
I was hoping for
To think
a name
that
like
there would be
Jipe. But yeah, harmony, order.
Remnants of
Got
the
it.
order on Penacony.
This is the second time we've had, granted, the other one is a more common path in abundance, but this is the second time that basically we have a... Second time? Yeah, because the first time didn't really have that. There was only the preservation on Belobog and annihilation on Herta Space Station at the time. So this is the second time in a row that we've had basically another god trying to usurp what's going on, or at least their followers doing it, right? So order in place of harmony, and then obviously going back to the Lafu, we had abundance trying to upset the hunt.
What have you done with Mr. Yang and Miss Robin?
What does it matter?
Don't worry. I just gave them some time alone to ponder their fates.
You should know that these actions make you an enemy of the Astral Express.
How would I feel if Sunday said I'll follow my guardian angel Tenebris Tenshi? Don't know. Because angels are usually subservient to their god overall, just in general mythology as a whole. So that would make him assume that I am an angel of order. Which, considering my scatterbrained mind, I am definitely not. So he misread me entirely.
Should we need to stand against the Nameless, it would only be myself and the Oak family involved. But we haven't reached that point yet, have we?
Yet you took out one of our nameless compatriots, you know? Because at the end of this, both the Dream Master and not Robin, sorry, Sunday are jumping the gun. He asked the question to see. They didn't answer, so he asked a further question to try and confirm. And at that point, it was going to be like, okay, well, what can we do to, you know, it could have been, what can we do to settle this amicably for everybody? But they decided to take action, and it's like, we haven't reached that point. We're still, you know, in the discussion phase. No, you stopped the discussion phase when you took down freaking Yang, okay? That's the point when it stopped.
Your efforts for the justice of Penacony are evident to everyone and have been widely observed.
Clearly. Yeah, I'm gonna go with this one. Stop beating around the bush and get to the freaking point.
Patience is a virtue.
No,
However,
it is.
I won't hold it against you. On the contrary, I'm here to make my intentions clear.
It's a good thing I didn't choose the first one. The first one was like, you're here to dictate terms? This is like, no, it's just... Granted. Did it say dictate terms? Anyway.
If it is the order that drove you to imprison Welt and Robin, and you're using them to coerce our compliance, then there'll be no point in entertaining any type of discussion.
Exactly. Him saying, we haven't gotten to the point of fighting, we can still discuss this. No, you stopped discussing the moment that you took out Yang, at the very least. She's nice enough to include Robin as well. But at the very least, Yang...
You're mistaken, Miss Himiko. They are in very safe hands. And just as the family has always proclaimed, no one can be harmed in the dreamscape, least of all in the beautiful new world belonging to the Order.
I will point out that, okay, but the family has an eject button, which is outside the dreamscape. And then what have you done with their bodies after that fact, huh?
Penacony and the entire universe have witnessed far too much innocent bloodshed. The strong wield their blades against the weak, and the victors push the vanquished to the brink of life.
You know what? He's not wrong. This is why someone put it very succinctly. Because there's a lot of people who believe that might makes right. Because you're stronger, that means you're more correct. That is not the way that I see it, nor this other person who brought this up in specific. Might or right. What is correct, that is what you fight for with all your strength. You don't fight to prove that you're right. You fight because the thing is already right.
Natural selection. The world abides by this principle, establishing the well-being of humanity atop the corpses of the downtrodden. Only we, or rather, I, possess the power to put an end to this farce.
On this one planet. You gonna do this for the entire universe, the entire galaxy? Huh? I'm looking up the order real quick. See if it's here. Enna, the order. God, the god designs look so good. We'll look at this a little bit later just because I want to try and continue through this because I blame the dragging out of the story sometimes for why it's taking me so long to get through Penacony. But I will wholeheartedly admit that at least 50% of the issue is me dragging things out, commenting, you know, far beyond what is actually being said.
So you've decided to resurrect a dead Eon? No one's ever done such a thing.
If Miss Himiko is interested, let's draw back the veil and speak candidly.
I mean, if we're not
I've
on
always
TV.
firmly believed that people can understand one another through peaceful means.
Yet you've incapacitated Yang and Robin, despite that they were not aggressive in the slightest. They were just trying to find the truth. Just saying.
I'm willing to divulge the unembellished truth as to the intentions of the Order's Pathstriders, so that you will make better judgment for the Astral Express, for Penacony, and for this stretch of the universe.
Oh, so they're going to expand
Words
beyond
can hardly
Penacony.
do
Okay.
justice to the beauty of that ideal. So, come with me, everyone. Let us retrace our steps and see once again where this road leads.
Huh? Where'd he go?
Places.
Welcome. This isn't any location in Penacony's dreamscape. It's my inner world. The reason the scenery before you remains unchanged is because your consciousness has drawn on similar concepts to fill in the gaps.
So if I'm inside your head, If I break stuff, does that hurt you? Does that give you a migraine? Everybody start breaking stuff! Yeah, I'm gonna say, who in their right mind would expose their inner self like this?
That means...
Did you do the same to Welt?
It's a tuning process. Stronger in effect and more draining on the mind. The gray-haired guest has experienced it before, so he should understand what it entails.
I have.
Tuning allows you to intuitively grasp my feelings, which also
tuning,
means
right.
that I cannot hide
Right.
anything from you. Now, everyone, please look at the huge screen.
There's
The
multiple huge
road
screens.
we once took begins here.
Just saying.
From this point on, you will witness the numerous decisions I've faced. I've selected a portion of these to share with you.
Yeah, we've established this one before, but
believe
obviously
after going
this is the
through
first time we've
similar
heard it as the
predicaments,
characters.
You'll be able to better understand my thoughts. Let's begin. The first decision. A story about a baby bird.
I do understand that technically we saw this without seeing it with...
This story happened when Robin and I were very young. We were victims of the Stellaron disaster, and the family's Mr. Gopher Wood, who would later become the Dream
I get
Master
why
of
he's doing this,
Penacony.
because technically these characters haven't
Saw
heard this
that we
story,
siblings had
but the
no one
player
to turn
has.
to and took
So
us
they
in.
could have just taken out the flashback before.
Later
There's
on.
no point.
Robin and I lived a time with nary a care in the world. One day,
we're jumping to
after
something else.
dinner,
Oh,
while
no,
my
never
younger
mind. This
sister
is still
and I
relevant.
were lounging about in Mr. Gopher Wood's yard,
Never mind.
we spotted a fledgling Charmony dove all on its own. That baby bird was tiny,
At least we're
It
not
didn't even
actually
have all of its
revisiting the
feathers,
actual lines all over
and it
again.
couldn't
but
sing.
Revisiting the plot.
When we found it, it was already on its last breath, having fallen into a shrub, probably abandoned by its parents. We decided to build a nest for it right there and then. However, thinking back, that winter was unusually cold, with fierce winds at night in the yard, not to mention the many poisonous bugs and wild beasts in the vicinity. It was clear that if we left the fledgling in the yard, it stood no chance of surviving until spring. So, I suggested we take it inside, place it on the shelf by the window.
Technically, this is the third
and
time
asked
we've
the
talked about
adults
this
to
particular
fashion
story.
a cage for it. We decided that when it regained its strength enough to spread its wings, we would release it back into the wild. The tragic part, something that we'd never considered, was that this bird's fate had already been determined long before this moment. Its destiny was determined by our momentary win. Now, I pass the power of choice to you all. Faced with this situation, what choice would you make? Stick to the original plan and build a nest with soft net where the Charmony dove fell. Or build a cage for it and feed it, giving it the utmost care from within the warmth of a home. I eagerly await your answer.
There's multiple answers to this. This isn't an either-or proposition. Here's another answer here's the third answer. Like, people got... Okay, I'm gonna give this another twist. Mass Effect. One of my favorite games, because I loved the story. The story was really good. The thoughts, usually of, like, the difficulty of choice sometimes gets really good. Sometimes it's super easy because, do you punch the guy in the face or do you try to talk him down? You know, it's kind of an easy thing to go around with. People got pissed off that the last choice was a binary one, or if you had played the multiplayer, was a, trinary one. There were 3 choices. And I agree, that was kind of a shitty way to end it, and so on and so forth. It's fine. However, it also points to the fact that it's never a binary choice. There's another choice. It's just either a middle ground between the two of them or one you just haven't considered. So my thought is put it in a cage, keep it safe, start training it to leave. Don't just let it go. Start training it to be more comfortable outside and slowly reintroduce it. That makes half a dozen to one, technically 6 to the other. This isn't a binary choice, but I'm going to talk to everybody. Oh, I should get the chance to collect this because I want it. All right, let's talk to people. What do you think, Firefly?
I can't decipher his intentions right now, but based solely on that question, I would probably choose to build that dove a cage. Even if I was gonna release it back into the sky, it'd have to be strong enough to fly first.
This is where I agree.
If I left it where I found it, I fear it'd never get the chance to fly ever again.
Like, based upon this, I'm arguing that there's not a binary choice here, but if I was forced to make this binary choice, I would agree with Sunday, but I would just want to see what everybody else thinks before I continue.
It looks like he really has no intention of imprisoning us. If it's
Can
just
we
a
leave,
quiz,
though?
I suppose it's fine to humor him.
If we can't leave, then he does
question.
have an intention of imprisoning us.
I would personally choose to build the little Charmony dove a cage. No special reason. I do think that a fledgling should have the right to fly into the sky.
Yeah, I agree. Like, my major issue with this is that it is not a binary choice, but... See, that's another choice that he didn't consider. Eat the bird!
This kind of question at us? What exactly is his deal? If it were me, I guess...
At least we're all of
leaving...
the binary choice, we're all in agreement at the very least. Which is what they did, by the way.
I'm happy to see that you made a choice similar to ours. If your mind is made up, let me reveal the outcome of this choice.
Let's see.
We passionately nursed it back to health, preparing only the best food for it every day. We even preened its feathers. Later, on the day that Robin left Penacony, we opened the cage door and let it fly back into the sky.
This is not the result of that choice. This is the result of a choice that came further down the line that you have not put there as a choice. The choice was not only to keep it safe, do all this other jazz that kind of was attached to that, but to let it go automatically on the day that Robin left Penacony, which is how many years later? If it was the spring right after, I would be like, okay, it is what it is. But considering that it says on the day that Robin left Penacony, that means they kept it for multiple years because they were children when this thing first fell, right? And she didn't leave until much later on in life. Correct me if I'm wrong, just because I don't know.
I watched it for a long while by the window, probably about 3 or so days. In those 3 long days, the little Charmony dove tried again and again to spread its wings to fly into the sky, but fell to the ground, only to keep trying.
I will point out that you said you preened its feathers. What if you accidentally clipped the guiding feathers of the bird and now it can't fly, and this is all your fault? I know preening doesn't include clipping, but I'm just pointing it out. What if you did something in your care of the bird that caused it to not be able to fly? It has nothing to do with the choice. It has everything to do with the actions after the choice.
Finally, on the 137th attempt,
Why did you count 137?
it succeeded. But its attempt did not go perfectly. After flying unsteadily for a while, it fell to the ground. Unable to grasp the direction of the air currents, the fall shattered its wings. It writhed helplessly in my embrace. But it was all for naught, finally succumbing to a painful demise.
Which it would have had if
And
you
in
left it
that
alone
instant,
anyway.
Our tender care, our given love and hopes, they all became the inevitable push that sent it to its death.
So are we establishing that, keeping people trapped in the dream will do the same thing? Like, I can turn this any which way I want. You are just not being very consistent.
I regret the choices we made. Next, let us head to the second decision.
Finally, a new one.
This time, it's the story of a dream chaser.
What is a dream chaser?
This story happened when I was appointed as Bronze Melodia, a position exclusive to the Oak family.
Which means?
Charged with listening to the problems and vexations of dreamscape residents.
Okay.
And providing them with the relevant guidance.
So basically an unlicensed psychologist.
It was during that period that I had the opportunity to hear voices from all corners of the dreamscape. Joy, sorrow, arrogance, regret. The complex tapestry of human nature that formed the world. And I was fortunate to catch a glimpse of it.
You would have been a jerk and dramatized Sunday and Robin and said the choice I made is I use a 12-shot gun. Like if you were there. Yeah, no. It's like, again, I wouldn't have gone that direction. Absolutely. I've already made my third choice bit. But the point is that he's showing binary choices. These things are not binary. Plus, there are other things that involve this. Not the choice of you taking care of the bird did not cause it not to be able not to fly. It was the lack of training from a parent because you guys are not Charmony birds. It could have been also that you accidentally, messed with its feathers and it could not fly on its own. There's a bunch of different things that could have caused that outcome. The initial decision might not have been one of them.
He was a dream chaser. And an illegal stowaway.
Flashing back to this again?
Just like the rest of them.
Yeah.
He came to Penacony in search of a better life. Except that, to most people...
So never mind, he's not an
price he
unlicensed
paid-
psychologist. He's technically supposed to be a priest.
I suppose you could say it was everything. He told me I sold everything I could at home. The house, the land, even his 2 children.
That asshole.
He said he could not afford to raise them, and that at least they could eat if they lived as slaves.
That's a way to look at it, but it's also... no. What? You sold the house and the land. You could now take that money and help raise your kids. What the frick? That guy's just an asshole.
He had a plan in place. He would buy back his children once he had made his fortune, and enjoy Penacony's beautiful dream with them.
Yet he came into the beautiful dream already, so...
Alas, his plan to smuggle himself was somewhat clumsy, and he was sniffed out by those pig-headed hounds. After hearing the Dream Chaser's story, I immediately appealed to the Bloodhound family to cease their pursuit. That way, at least he could live peacefully. But I was still too naive to the ways of the world. I did not anticipate that what I thought was a kind gesture would later lead to dire consequences.
Again, your choice here is not the root of the problem. The root of the problem was in the third party that you have no effect over. He was already in a position... Let's see the true result of this at this point, right?
I'll tell you the outcome soon. For now,
Okay, what are the choices?
will you do as I did, and try to convince the Bloodhound family to stop their pursuit, so that the Dream Chaser may live peacefully and realize his wishes?
We have established that technically you can make money inside the dream and bring that out to do stuff in the real world, right? That's been established?
Or will you remain silent, leaving him to languish while the hounds are hot on his heels, until his inevitable judgment arrives? I look forward to everyone's decision.
Because if he... if that's not the case, then yeah, I want him to get kicked out so he can go and freaking make actual money to hopefully get his kids back, because fuck him. I still want to see what everybody has to say.
This question... Surely it has some connection to the baby bird story. And this connection
sweet
is
dream
precisely
equals
the
the
breakthrough
cage.
Sunday aims to use to persuade us. I'd probably choose to ask the Bloodhounds to cease their pursuit.
It depends on whether or not he can make money in the sweet dream to bring out to the real world to me. That is the key factor.
A dream chaser story. If I acted out of kindness, I would probably ask the Bloodhounds to stop their pursuit and lend him a hand. But what cruel repercussion would this choice result in? I think Sunday must have been deeply impressed by the limitations of the strong defending the weak through this incident.
Yeah, I agree.
It seems illegal stowaways are really quite common on Penacony.
Despite the fact they say that.
But that guy in the story, I don't think he deserves any sympathy at all.
I'm kind of on March's side.
He sold his kids to chase a dream. Even if he intended to go back for them, it's still insanely irresponsible.
Absolutely. I'm on March's side if I'm being honest.
With that thought, there's only one choice. Let the Bloodhounds send him back home.
I was about to be afraid. Are they
This
all
person
gonna...
deserves to be punished.
I was actually about to be afraid since those two agreed with the choice that freaking Sunday did. I was about to say, oh man, are they always gonna agree with Sunday? That's gonna get boring real fast. Thank you, March. And I was gonna say don't get used to me thanking you, but who knows? If you get written better in the future, I might actually continue to do so. But I do agree that basically he's an asshole. His decisions forced your hand. That has nothing to do with your choice.
Nice.
To me, you enforce the letter of... This is not enforcing the letter of the law, but the spirit of the law, you know? Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm a March's side with this. Because unless... I don't... Hold on. I just need confirmation of this. Can you make money inside the sweet dream and bring it out? I'm looking it up in case, but if you guys have the answer, let me know. That way I can get back to this real quick. The only thing for money is just alpha credits. Unless you can convert that to actual credits, you can't make money here. At least not money that would get you back to your kids. You can make money to keep staying here longer, if anything. But that's not the same. But absolutely, I'm on March's side with this.
It seems you, like me, are pondering whether a different choice could have led to a better outcome.
Absolutely not.
Sadly, his fate would only be more tragic.
Okay, two things. I already started with my first thing. First off, I'm wondering whether a different choice would lead to a better outcome. No, I'm saying that it would be a more fair outcome in general. not necessarily a better outcome. That doesn't mean anything. He could go suffer and I don't care because he's an asshole. Secondly, sadly, this fate would only be more tragic. How do you know? You didn't follow this path. You went the other way. How do you know that this fate is more tragic than the way that you did?
Say he never gets caught. He would only die from delirium. The methods with which illegal stowaways enter dreams are unorthodox. Not flawless like the hotels. Living in the dreamscape would be a mere pipe dream.
Oh, okay.
Should he be apprehended? Could the hounds afford to turn a blind eye? The answer is a definitive
That last
no.
line seemed very
They
contradictory.
couldn't bear the resulting consequences, and thus wouldn't dare extend a helping hand.
Yes, that's the point.
As to your choice, I once again offer my heartfelt apologies. Next comes the third and final decision.
Oh my god. One choice. Don't get me wrong, a multiverse comes from a myriad of choices, but what nobody really understands, right, is that, or not that they don't understand it, it's just hard to understand because you're always the protagonist of your own story. So you're thinking, oh, what happens if I made this other decision, or that decision, or this decision, or that decision? Fine. But you're ignoring all the decisions everyone else are making. There's a reason why they say there's literally an infinite number of multiverses if multiverses actually exist. Because every single decision made by every single person, thing, physics-defying stunt, whatever the heck, causes something to change. It might be in the slightest change. Like, I decided to go, leave on time instead of distracting myself and leaving late. Being late means I get fired, maybe. Being on time means that I'm not. But at the end of the day, I could find another job. But it would be difficult to do that. It's a bunch of different things beyond the fact that what if that day my boss is late too? Oh, then I'm not, didn't matter what my choice was to either be there on time or be late because I'm not going to get caught. I just walk into the office and start working. And when he comes in, haha, I was here the whole time. I was on time. Don't worry about it. In theory, obviously, I don't actually do that stuff, but point still stands that your choice is not the only one that solidifies someone's destiny. Their choice is probably the strongest to solidify their own destiny rather than yours, but your choice also solidifies some of their destiny. Like, there's a bunch of different things. There's too many variables for you to say that your choice made
And the
this.
story this time is my own. This story happened the day I was appointed the Oak family head. At that time, Mr. Gopherwood was the current Dream Master.
Wait.
And as per his wish, we had a private conversation.
So the Dream Master, then that explains why they put Dream Master in quotation marks. This is not Gopher Wood who's the Dream Master now, is it?
What surprised me was that the Dream Master had only come to deliver a letter to me. He let me read its contents, and it was a letter from my sister.
Okay.
The letter contained the usual pleasantries, anecdotes from her travels. Nothing out of the ordinary. Just as I started wondering how this letter related to our discussion, the Dream Master began to speak.
Do you know who wrote this letter?
Oh, but he said Gopher Wood and it still has quotation marks. So then here's the big money question.
My sister, of course. But why would you personally visit me to hand me a letter from my sister containing mere trivialities?
I have a feeling it was...
To help you grasp the full scope of this issue. Do you know where Robin is at this moment?
I hate to reference the Bible, but am I my sister's keeper?
From what the letter indicates, she must be in Caspelina 8, correct? She's touring there right now.
And more than likely she's not, because this letter got here either earlier and now she's onto a different planet, or it came really late, but she's still onto a different planet anyway.
Correct. Has she mentioned anything about a stray bullet?
Oh, he's manipulating him.
A stray bullet?
A war has broken out on that planet. It is because of this very reason that Robin chose this destination. To spread the word of the Harmony. And to save the lives of that planet. She personally made for the front lines.
Okay. That's her choice.
She hoped to ease the people's suffering with song, and was willing to brave mortal danger to deliver the IPC's medical supplies. Unfortunately, stray bullets show no such compassion.
Okay. By definition, stray bullets were meant for someone else and accidentally hit a different target.
Is she alright?
If the operation was successful, she should probably be recovering in the field hospital.
I want to see what his choice was, because automatically, this is already a non-choice that you can affect. Why? Because Robin made her choice. Did she make a poor choice? Maybe. But it was still her choice.
By the eon above, the bullet struck her neck directly, yet possibly as a reward for her consistent deeds of harmony. It didn't hit any vital arteries. Once you've attended to your outstanding tasks, it'd be advisable to write her back as soon as possible.
Those damned savages! I'll pack my bags right away. My gratitude for bringing this to my attention, Mr. Gopherwood. Now you understand why she always wears such elaborate neck ornaments, don't you?
And?
How could this happen? Miss Robin.
The surgery was successful. Sure, she obviously has a scar. Duh. That's why she wears the neck ornaments. But the surgery was successful enough that she can sing, outside of your manipulations with the order.
It's all in the past, so please don't worry. I share this in the meager hope that you will understand the Harmony's limitations and predicament. As grandiose as the strong defending the weak sounds, many times, it is nothing more than wishful thinking.
It was a stray bullet. By definition, it was meant for someone else. It just happened to hit Robin. Beyond the fact that she made the choice. She made her own decision to go there. I'm sure she has people to say, hey, look, it's a war-torn planet. Maybe it's not a great idea to go to the front lines, especially, and try to, mediate via song. And she chose to ignore it. Or she had a bunch of kiss asses. And that was their choice to put your sister in danger. But none of it is anyone's fault.
Likewise, I've prepared one last question. One last choice. But rest assured, this choice will not have any grave consequences, because this is merely a figment of imagination. A nightmare that has haunted me through countless nights. If you ever had would you still support Robin's journey on the path of harmony?
Okay, what is the choice? What is the actual choice? Oh, technically. So basically, stop Robin from going on her journey or support Robin on her journey. It is her choice at the end of the day. Yeah, it is your sister and you care about your family. Don't get me wrong, I completely understand with that. If you knew about what she was gonna do, you could give her, guidance, being, I think he's the older brother if I remember correctly.
Nice.
But give her guidance. If she still chooses to ignore it, that's on her. God, I can't take this. This is about as frustrating as the last boss of Persona 5.
And here I was thinking she was just another superstar celebrity. But the fact that she's also Mr. Sunday's younger sister? No, I doubt he'd wish harm on his own flesh and blood, no matter how grand the ambition.
Okay, so it's not highlighted, but literally stop her is her choice.
I often feel like I've dreamt of similar scenes on certain nights. In the dream, I see blurry faces. I don't know who they are, but I sympathize with all of them, fighting for survival against some unfathomable force. Their confusion and fear are lucid to me. But I also remember they chose never to give up. If Mr. Sunday's question leaves you puzzled, you should find the answer from your own experiences with each trailblaze. Dangers and tribulations will surely follow. But would you ever back away? Would you stop March and Don Hung from reaching their next destination? I believe you have an answer of your own in your heart.
All right, March.
I can't believe that happened to Miss Robin. The strong defending the weak is a great mantra, but if I had to pay such a price, I don't know what I'd do.
What price was paid? We still haven't established anything because she apparently can still sing. She can still talk. So obviously the only price that was paid was a temporary pain and surgery to help fix as much as you can. Other than that, a scar tissue on the outside of her throat. There's no price paid here. Except for maybe like to the doctors directly. I don't understand why people are so... Okay, oh no, Robin was in danger, then my own flesh and blood. I can picture that. Sure. But she was an adult, or at least adult-ish, enough to be allowed to leave the planet, right? That made her own decision. Was it a foolish decision? Maybe. But it was hers to make. No. I support her to go on her journey. Like, at worst, again, it's not a binary choice. At worst, I say, hey, are you sure you want to go there? It's a war-torn country. You could actually be in danger. At the very least, don't go to the front lines. Go, like, elsewhere, so on and so forth. Not necessarily, you know... But I would never necessarily stop her if she had her mind set on it. That would be my choice. Screw you. Absolutely.
I see.
It is their own choice to make.
I am now aware of everyone's stances. Raising these questions merely serves to illustrate one point. The plight of Penacony cannot be salvaged by the Harmony.
Nor can it be salvaged by the Order,
foundation
technicality,
for a
but that's
sweet
okay.
dream paradise can only be established through the Order, where the strong govern the weak.
No. No, no, no. All of my no. Let's assume, for sake of argument, that in your infinite wisdom, you are correct. You, as the strong, governing the weak is actually for the best for the weak. Because you know what's best for them and so on and so forth. Fine. What about the next person who comes into power? And the person after that? Will they continue to care for the weak, despite being the strong? I don't think so, because everybody's different and makes their own choices. Huh, how about that? We've rounded this right back to choice again, Mr. Sunday. Gosh, I can't stand this guy.
I know.
He speaks in absolutes, and I hate it.
The turmoil of losing your way, how sorrow and even despair set in when matters don't work out. All of this causes me unending pain. Because this is not what happiness is.
No wonder I was thinking of Persona 5. I just thought about it. The Order. Yes. Holy moly. No, that's exactly kind of what the ending of Persona 5 Royal was about, in technicality. Oh, even Persona 5 Flat. It's a matter of I relinquish my own control to someone who knows better for me. But no, you never want that. You want your own choices. The moment that you it feels nice in the short term to relinquish control to somebody else. You make all my decisions for me, so long as I'm not hurt, die, etc. I don't care. That's the moment that someone's gonna really screw you over if you let that happen.
We must teach the weak how to live a happy life. And this life isn't some noble propriety that the upper crust preaches, but in definitive terms, a way of survival that belongs to everyone.
No. We must teach the weak to live a happy life. Okay. It doesn't necessarily mean that they'll be happy, because my first thought when I heard the first line, because you're teaching them how to live happily while you're rich, and they're not exactly rich, and so etc., so on and so forth. He corrected himself in technicality by saying, not some kind of that, but just survival. It's just like, okay, but what if they're happy the way they are? Oh, but they could be happier. Okay. Then make them happier, but that doesn't mean everybody's going to be happier with your changes. And again...
So what is your definition of living a happy life?
Exactly! Your definition might not fit everybody else's. Thank you, Firefly.
Good question. Human consciousness is fundamentally an illusion. A cage known as self-worth.
No, it's not!
People lured in by this illusion make mistakes, yet still ask that external influences bear the burden.
My brain, it hurts. And you want to know what makes why it hurts my brain more than like the stupidity that sometimes happens in Blue Archive? Because the people that get hurt by these stupid choices are smaller scale than what's going to happen here. It's the entirety of a district of a city, at most. This guy is going to do a planet, which not all of them are even residents thereof, and B is hinting that it's going to be bigger than that. That's the next step. Of all the things, I refuse to allow people to take choice away from others. Yes. Can they mess up? Absolutely. Will they mess up? More than likely. But they make the choice. You take away all of that from them, and it just makes everything worse.
When one mistake after the next permeates
because they can
the
never
masses,
truly be happy.
They become impossible to trace. Thus, the amassing of these individual cages culminate to form a prison. A place dictated only by the rule of survival of the fittest. Nature is always accompanied by predation and sacrifice. Its antithesis is known as order.
No. Because nature is not chaos. Chaos is the antithesis of order. But nature is not chaos. You just can't see the order in the, what seems like random bits in nature. So you think that order is the antithesis of what nature is, which it is not.
That is what I wanted.
I won't say that nature is order, because it isn't either, but it's not its antithesis.
Order. They won't need to make bitter choices any longer, nor face the weaknesses of humanity. They can cast aside their primal instincts to build a haven for mankind.
No, they can't, because your point is that you're going to revoke their ability to choose. The strong will govern the weak. They will not have a choice in the matter. They can, no, they will.
Simply describing thoughts is far too abstract. So allow me to provide a simple example.
Why are we doing this?
As you all may know, there are societal norms like weekends and long weekends that exist on some worlds.
Okay.
During these hard-earned rest days, People are given the chance to extricate themselves from the stresses of everyday life, allowing a certain tranquility to return to their souls. And it is only on these days that people do not have to adhere to the law where the strong prey on the weak. They can live out their lives happily during these brief intermissions. It's just a pity that 2 or 3 days are still too fleeting compared to the span of a lifetime.
I agree with the idea of this, not the way he's presenting it. The issue that I have is specifically, and only on these days do people not have to adhere to the law with a strong prey on the weak. No, they could do this every single day of their lives, but in generalities. Oh, I promise you, I'll give him the choice of the back of my hand. No, you wanna know what? Hold on. I'll give him as much choice about whether it's the back of my hand or not, as much as he's gonna give to everybody else through the order. That is to say none.
Stand, society's ideal system should be 7 rest days. Following Sunday, there should ensue a second, a third, and indeed an infinite procession of Sundays.
I think he's obsessed with himself.
This should be the face of the new world. Idyllic, eternal, peaceful days.
I agree that maybe we should all just have rest days, but then how will anything get done? We wouldn't be able to progress to where we're at without having at least a workforce that must go through, not slavery, of course, but just, the drudgery of creating things for the masses as a whole, including themselves. How would you provide for everyone if everybody's resting? Again, I'm being hyperbolic here, but he's not helping because he's being hyperbolic with not with this particular thing, but with okay, this current system sucks. Oh, 100% I agree. This current system is absolutely terrible. We need to fix it. You're right. Here's the other system that I think we should fix it. No, that's about just as bad.
And thus, every person can
just in a
return
different
to
way.
Their base selves in this utopia. Some gaze in reverence at the stars, pouring their whole beings into calculating the distance between us and the isolated world of Pagana. Meanwhile, some seek refuge in quiet corners, holding one another, unencumbered by the chains of unwelcome obligations.
Okay.
There would be no need to bear the hardships of reality. Only in this way can humanity face the inevitable end with the purest of spirit, living a life of dignity. This is what it is to live in bliss.
I think the only thing I wholeheartedly agree, but it's completely out of context, is that last sentence. Living a life of dignity is what it is to live in bliss. Out of the context of everything else he said, I agree with that wholeheartedly. I can agree with that sentence. But it's got to be pulled out of the rest of that garbage that he set up.
Miss Firefly, you who are stricken with entropy loss syndrome, you of all would surely understand this.
Yes, and she's an exception to certain rules. That she would live longer, etc. Let's go back to the old person from yesterday. Yeah. Would he be better off probably stuck in the dream because at least he's functional? Yeah, that would actually be great. But that's an exception to the generalities. You're trying to establish that across the board when it really doesn't apply across the board.
It sounds like a flawless theory.
Okay. I did say I might agree with her more often and if the writing continues. Automatically. No, it's not flawless, March. It's even if, okay, that his theory is strong. A theory is never flawless. Because if it was flawless, it would no longer be a theory. Now, what is? The theory is the key there. It's not flawless by default. Himeko, are you all seriously falling for this bullshit?
But what is the price to attain all this?
That actually is a good question. Because if he can find a solution for all my issues or everything else that he's putting into place, I might actually wholeheartedly agree with him. I just don't think he can. Right now I'm applying my sense of understanding of everything, which is not necessarily what's in HSR, because they've got a lot of other things in play that don't exist in our world. So what is the price?
The cost is minute. Merely
For
a
whom?
personal and eternal sacrifice.
Okay, what is it?
If this paradise is to be maintained for everyone, someone must remain trapped in solitary awakening until the end of the cosmos.
Okay, so basically it's a sacrifice of one person. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Okay, so far I can follow. But it still doesn't answer all the other questions I have. It's just, here's the minor bit. Who's going to be the sacrifice, though?
Which means that this so-called paradise is still a dream. Stepping into this paradise means forsaking reality, correct?
It is not forsaking, but transcending. Flesh,
It is
blood,
forsaking.
sorrow, weakness. If the physical is the root of spiritual suffering, it is only logical that we defeat it.
Here's the major problem. The physical is still attached even when you're in the dream. There's an ejector button for a reason.
But in this supposed bliss, people won't have defeated their demons. The chance to overcome their tribulations would be forever lost to them. In other words, it is an escape.
I'm going to point out that Firefly should not be the one talking about this, because she cannot defeat her demons. She actually is suffering from a disease that, from what I understand at the very least, is incurable. She's bringing up a great point, but...
That's another way of understanding it. But there is no shame in escape. On the contrary, the seeds of escape exist in everyone's hearts.
Agreed with that. I'm gonna agree. Just to go through this faster, I'm gonna say whether I agree or disagree with certain sentences, and I will pick out things, but I'll just try to stop overanalyzing.
Don't you agree, Miss Firefly? And as for why
Because if not, my
life
brain is gonna
slumbers,
just destroy
it
itself.
is because we are afraid to awaken from our dreams.
Did I miss something? Hold on. That doesn't seem like it was continuing. There's no shame in escape. There's a seed of escape for everyone's heart. As for why life slumbers, that it's either a bad translation or where he's referencing something. I don't know. Moving on, because if not,
But this is not in conflict with the grand plan.
Okay.
Only in acknowledging this can we truly understand the frailty of human nature, and from there, show compassion and protection.
I will point out that because human nature is more of a conscious decision, if this dream was truly a conscious dream, because basically the sweet dream is essentially not a waking dream. What's the word I'm looking for? It's a lucid dream. You're very lucid and you remember everything going in and out, right? I don't know. But basically, people can still be themselves, and I'm sure that assholes will still be assholes, and thus, great, everybody's now dreaming and living forever, but we're still in the same kind of system. Just pointing that out.
I admit that you are a born leader. Your perspective on humanity brims with pessimism. Yet you express compassion for all. Even when your heart pities them.
Agreed.
But unlike you, I live for the self.
That's selfish.
From my perspective, individuals making choices for themselves is their birthright.
I said that's selfish as a joke, but I absolutely agree with this line.
The want to escape may be innate in the weak. But whether they are weak or not, it is not up to another to decide.
Absolutely. Abso-friggin-lutely. Thank you, Firefly.
Perhaps in your mind, you also view me as weak?
I think most people would, considering you have a degenerative disease, but you know. To be fair.
Because
that would be everybody's first
I don't
reaction.
think so.
Since Miss Firefly has said her piece, the Astral Express will also naturally give you our answer.
Himiko, don't speak for all of us. Even though I'll
We'll
probably
leave it
agree
to
with
you.
you.
Just as Mr. McHale instructed before. Tell him our choice.
This is gonna be funny. It would be hilarious if I answered with, nah. I like that. I like that plan. Let's do it.
What is this place?
Does
Misha?
this place ring any bells, Misha?
I don't know. But I feel a sense of
So this was before
deja
we went
vu.
on the trip.
What is this place?
Okay.
It's the realm within a dream bubble. This was left to the Astral Express by a nameless, but weirdly, when we entered it, it was completely empty.
But when he entered it,
Dr.
it's not
Edward from the Dreamscape sales store told me that dreams are formed from memories, and a dream bubble can't take shape if its core is empty. So I thought you might be able to help us in unraveling this mystery, Misha. As a hotel doorman, you know Penacony best among us.
I don't know much about dream bubbles, but if you want to figure out what this mansion is, I'll do my best.
I'm counting on you then.
Himiko, I still don't get it. Why were you so sure that Misha had a connection with this dream bubble?
That is a big money question.
I wasn't sure. It was just a hunch. But since Misha feels familiar with this place, my hunch might be correct.
I have a feeling that if Misha didn't actually do this, she was just gonna walk around and say, "Here, touch this dream bubble. Here, touch this dream bubble. Here, touch this dream bubble. Here, touch," until we found somebody. Especially.
Exactly. This is where you and Firefly encountered death, which we now know as dormancy. Considering its connection to Dreamflux Reef, it's not surprising it appeared here. The question now is, who brought you here? Based on the clues we have so far, it's unlikely to be that masked fool. So identifying them is crucial to us.
Okay.
We're drawing closer to the truth once more. Let's give Misha some time, as I believe he'll unveil the secret of this dream bubble.
All right, but there are doors all over the place. Which one should we choose? Do you have any idea, Misha?
I guess maybe this way?
Okay, yeah.
I'm not entirely sure, but let's give it a try.
All right.
Wait, you managed to choose the right door on your...
Yeah.
Weird. This place is quite different from the hotel.
I just noticed he has a keyhole for a freaking
I feel like I've been
For his
here
iris.
before, and even lived here for a while. If I remember correctly, there should be a fireplace down that hallway. Clocky and I used to sit by the fire, listening to the crackling of firewood. And the room on the other side was the toy room. I loved spreading out all the toys from the box on the floor and making up stories for each of them. Hold on. This doesn't make sense. Didn't I grow up in Dreamflux Reef? So, what is this place?
This could be a case of amnesia. But don't worry, Misha. It's common for everyone to forget certain aspects of the past. Those memories haven't vanished. They're
He's
just
absolutely
lying
correct,
in the
actually.
depths of your mind. Since this place seems familiar to you, why don't we explore a few more rooms and see if you can recall anything more?
Yeah, then let's check out the rooms I just mentioned.
I want to go to the toy room first.
Tick-tock. Tick-tock.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Tick tock, tick tock. Wait. That's
I
Clocky's.
heard some noises from the room. Origami Bird? That's a friend of mine.
You and Origami Bird are friends?
Yeah. It's a member of the Compass crew, just like Clocky and Miss Mirror.
We haven't
And
met
there's
Miss
more
Mirror
than
either.
just one Origami Bird. They are a big family with lots of brothers and sisters who look the same.
Yep.
They
that's
follow Miss Mirror's orders and handle all sorts of jobs on the ship. They're the best sailors.
Sailors? Can Origami Birds be sailors?
It's a cartoon, March.
Could you tell us more about the compass, Misha?
The Compass is a ship bound for the New World. Clocky and his partners travel through layers of fog to the depths of the sea. Whenever there is danger, Clocky will use a compass and guide the ship in the right direction.
That's a great story. But in the Penacony cartoon, Clocky and his partners have always lived in Dreamville and never ventured out, right?
Huh? Oh, that does seem to be the case.
Interesting.
Weird. I clearly remember Clocky arrived in the New World in the end.
Perhaps Clocky has a hidden past.
So, where has Clocky gone? Did he leave to protect Dreamville?
Origami Bird I made for you. Protecting the arm. And protecting Dreamville. Just like they did with Clocky. Alright.
Tick-tock. Tick-tock. Tick-tock.
The ambient noise of that conversation it drives me nuts.
Mikhail, that's the name. Now we all know him as the Watchmaker. So, who is he talking to? Do you know anything about it, Misha?
I'm sorry. I don't know much about the Watchmaker. But, Mikhail...
Anything special about that name?
Mikhail is Grandpa's name.
Grandpa? Do you mean you're the Watchmaker's grandson?
Maybe not necessarily grandson per se, but you know.
But we haven't heard anything about the Watchmaker having descendants. And the name Mikhail is not rare. Perhaps it's merely a coincidence.
I don't know. I haven't heard Mikhail at all, except for, the Watchmaker.
Could you tell us more about your grandpa, Mikhail?
About your grandpa. That read was bad.
Yeah, sure. He was a seafarer who fearlessly ventured into mysterious seas and storms. He was always on the sea and had lots of friends who accompanied him on his travels.
Cough, cough, clocky, cough.
He didn't want me to call him Grandpa because that would make him sound old. He believed he was still young. The name Mikhail was given to him by his parents, Mihaly and Elise, both renowned seafarers. Every time he came back, he'd share his logbook with me and tell me about his adventures at sea. I want to become a great adventurer, just like him.
It appears that the Seafarer has nothing to do with the Watchmaker. So, perhaps it's just a coincidence?
I don't know about that.
So, where is your grandpa now?
He went off on a new journey, and it's been quite a while since I last saw him.
About
I
that.
think I hear the sound of water.
You once mentioned there's a magnificent fountain up ahead. Look, there it is!
I'd forgotten that we were here before.
The water resembles a precious jewel embedded in the dreams of all seafarers. every time I gaze at the shimmering lights beneath the waves, it feels as though I'm back in this place, standing by your side.
Have you recalled anything, Misha?
Yeah, I saw these sentences in Grandpa's logbook. He used to say that despite the perils of the sea, whenever he stood on the deck in the afternoon, overlooking the sparkling waves, he would think of this fountain in front of his house. He often said that those moments felt like returning to his family's side, and the difficulties at sea didn't seem quite as challenging.
You know, I quite understand such sentiments.
I'm sure most people would. Talking like an elder. Getting old, Grandma.
I'm not an elder. I was just being a bit sentimental.
You're getting old, Grandma.
Perhaps every adventurer far from home carries a fountain within their soul. Even though the other side of the sea remains shrouded in the unknown, the fountain in front of his house serves as a compass, leading him back to his cherished ones.
Yeah, while Grandpa was at home, we would stand by the fountain and place the compass, a toy boat that I made, into the pool. Back then, I would ask him when I could go on adventures like him. And he would always laugh and say I was still too young.
It seems this Mikhail is truly a seafarer and has nothing to do with the watchmaker.
Are we sure?
Yeah. Based on Misha's recollections, the scenes in the dream bubble appear to be his childhood memories.
But this raises more questions. According to Misha, he was clearly born on an oceanic planet and led an ordinary life, with no connection to Penacony at all. Could this be some sort of metaphor? Perhaps the sea refers to the memory zone.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. I don't know, but
did March just say something
my memories
smart?
keep pouring out uncontrollably, like water flowing from a fountain. Perhaps I'll remember more things if we go further.
Man.
Share your burden.
We're going to the opposite side, right?
No, we should turn left here.
Huh? Something feels different about this place.
This is it. I remember this corridor. Up ahead is Grandpa's study. It was in that room that I saw him the last time.
Let's continue. So many times.
The atmosphere in this room feels totally different.
Misha! You finally come!
Hi, Clocky.
Clocky! You're here! Huh. Yeah. This is the room where we first met each other.
Are those books on the bookshelf logbooks left behind by that seafarer?
Yeah. Whenever he came back, he placed a logbook on the bookshelf in his room. They contain records of his expeditions to every corner of the world.
Or universe,
He
you know.
described our world as a fountain. At some point, the sea started to gradually swallow up the land where people lived. To ensure that everyone had land to settle on, he had to continue exploring the sea in search for the source of the rising seawater.
Source of the reservoir.
On that
It was
day,
a
he
Stellaron,
called me
I
to
bet.
his study, telling me that he was embarking on another journey. However, I could sense the gravity in his expression. It was the same look I had seen on my father's face before
remember
his
your father.
final voyage. I asked him if I could go with him, but he said that my adventure lay elsewhere and told me to stay home and patiently await a certain sound at the door.
Ding dong?
What sound?
Ding dong.
He told me about a vast ocean in the sky. An ocean of stars. He spoke of a train that transports children with a desire to venture far away, traversing the sea of
Astral
stars
Express.
without ever stopping.
The Astral
He said that
Express.
he knew the crew on the train.
Which makes sense if it was his grandpa
That
and
he had
that
asked them
his
to take me
clockmaker.
along. He said the journey I had always dreamed of would start there.
A train? Could it be?
It's the Astral Express. I remember now. Grandpa's friends are a group of nameless who came to this world to resolve a disaster caused by a star.
Stellaron. but
Then-
yeah.
He gave his pocket watch to me. It was his cherished treasure, appearing in every one of his adventure tales. He explained that difficult times were ahead, but assured me that the watch would guide me. He said, as long as I kept moving forward, I'd eventually reach my desired destination. And then
Moving forward.
it was as if I heard the distant sound of a train whistle echoing throughout the room.
Exactly, Misha! And then we followed that whistle, didn't we?
Yeah. I think I can still find the way we took back then.
This is the dream jigsaw, right? So we're supposed to find the exit. But where can we find the last piece?
Do you remember? You said you obtained a mysterious shard when you stumbled into this place.
Right?
Hey, the shape seems to match. So this shard is also connected to Misha?
Looks like we're just one step from revealing the truth. Let's...
Alrighty. Dream within a dream within a dream. Let's go.
This is it. This is my room of clocks. While I spent my time waiting for Grandpa to return from his voyage, Walter gave me this workshop, and it became my secret base.
Walder. Who's Walder?
Here, I learned how to repair clockwork and gears out of my fondness of precision mechanics. In my dreams, I was the captain of the compass, embarking on adventures with my companions, Clocky and Miss Mirror, in search of the new world.
I want to see Miss Mirror. We haven't seen Miss Mirror at all.
I was born and raised here.
So, this building in the dream bubble is your childhood home?
Yes, but not exactly. To be more precise, this dream bubble itself is my home.
Wait, what?
Looks like you've remembered everything now.
He was born out of the
Wait,
dream?
wait. Why does it feel like everyone else knows something I don't?
I'm kind of feeling like March 7th right now. And I don't like that. Yeah, you're the only one in the dark. I'm just gonna say that to spite her for now.
Marge, Do you remember when he mentioned a clocky that only he could see?
Yeah, the little guy here, right? But we all saw him in Dreamflux Reef, right? And Mr. Yang even greeted him.
Looks like everyone on the Astral Express has a childlike spirit.
The answer lies in the Astral Express. His experience shows that neither Firefly nor Acheron can see this clocky.
Yep.
And when we were in Dreamflux Reef, you may have noticed that for some reason, nobody outside of the crew had ever talked with Clocky.
Wait, really? Because didn't Firefly finally see it?
Life that can only be seen by a select few. It's just like a hidden message left by someone for the nameless.
Alright.
But Misha can see Clocky too, right? They even grew up together. But Misha hasn't started the way of the Trailblaze yet.
That's the key to the mystery, March. Now take a moment to recall. Have you ever seen anyone outside of the crew interact with Misha?
Wait. No way!
Really?
That's the answer, March 7th. This dream bubble is the place where I was born. And I'm a dweller in this dream. Just like a memory zone meme. I should have stayed here and
I
waited
feel
for
like
you.
somebody else has talked to him before.
But
Am I
when
crazy?
reality and memories merged, I unconsciously pushed open that door and left the bubble with Clocky.
So it's not that the Watchmaker's dream bubble is empty, but rather the stuff inside ran away? And
That's
the
interesting.
whistle you heard was the sound of the Express arriving at Penacony?
That's one way to see it, but I believe there's a longer story behind all this. It's best for Misha himself to explain all the details.
Yeah, let's catch up.
How about we start with your name? Now, should we call you Misha, or...
Thank you all for helping me rediscover my true self. Now, please allow me to reintroduce myself. I was born on Lushaka, in the Presmere system, adopted by seafarers Mikhail and Char. They gave me a treasure, a name that carried their hopes.
Okay.
Mikhail Char Legwork, or simply Misha. If you prefer, you can call me by a more familiar name, the Watchmaker.
Ah, right, the clocks. Why did that
So
part take me so long to
You're
get?
the Watchmaker himself?
Unfortunately, that legendary figure is no more. I am only a reflection of his life. As for the child who has been with you, he's the innocent protagonist of Misha's childhood dream. A friend of Clocky, a young apprentice, and a future mechanic on the Express. And this also
I've seen him on
marks
the
the
Express,
beginning
though,
of his
every
journey,
every so often when I go
devoted to the
Express.
Trailblaze.
At the end of the journey,
Whoa. Okay.
I left this little flame, which I so cherished, in my deepest dreams, hoping to pass it on to the nameless of future generations. However, he somehow left the dream bubble and forgot all about his task. I apologize for all the confusion this caused.
Because he was born with a desire to trailblaze, wasn't he?
I mean, makes sense.
I don't think Misha has forgotten his role as a guide. He remembered it, and that's why he mistakenly appeared as a hotel doorman in his dream from the very beginning. The one who brought our unconscious friend here must have been Misha. If that's the case, we encountered the Watchmaker's legacy from the beginning, didn't we?
Well, I have a sarcastic friend who says I always take big detours and end up back where I started. Perhaps that's what every nameless has to go through. But in the end, you found me. I'm sure you're all wondering what my legacy is.
Your hat.
I believe my hound has mentioned the Stellaron and my wealth.
Not the wealth part, the Stellaron.
If I may apologize, the Stellaron part is real. As for my wealth, however, it's nothing more than a baseless rumor.
Rip. I was hoping to be rich.
I left my homeland as a child and embarked on the journey of Trailblaze. I traveled to various planets until finally reaching Asdana, where my friends and I built the original Penacony and fought for its future ever since. I've been moving forward all my life, doing what I could to overcome the obstacles in my path. But ultimately, my journey reached its end, and I left behind no possessions worth entrusting. So, if you ask what's left within this worn-out train engine that can be called a legacy, I suppose it's the things that are still burning in the engine's furnace.
Which is?
Now that you're well aware of the current situation of Penacony, I certainly hope that you'll help me get this world back on track. But I'll leave that decision to you, for the path of Trailblaze is never paved by others. All I have for you is a story and 2 gifts. I want to give you my pocket watch.
That's not a hat.
It has accompanied me throughout my long journey, guiding that naive child forward, and has been blessed with the presence of so many great people up to this day. And my hat, too.
There we go.
The one who navigated for me placed it on my head and planted a fanciful thought in my mind. The trailblazing expedition will never end. Now, it's time for you to make your choice. Once you've made up your mind, open that door and enter the long dream of an old man. I'll be waiting for you at the end of this corridor of time.
Also, Alice.
All right, everyone. Let's make a decision. Although I don't think anyone will have any objections.
Objection! Anyway, yeah, I'll choose the Trailblaze.
Of course. We've come this far. Surely there's no other option than moving forward.
In that case, it's unanimous. Then let's proceed
Is it
together
unanimous?
to the
Yang's
end of
not
this
here.
dream and tell
Nor is Don
Mikhail
Hung.
our decision.
Anything else in here? Anything else I want to pick up? Nada. Okay, moving on.
Mikhail, where are you going?
Someone has to step up and save Lushaka. So why can't it be me, Misha?
Please don't go. And if you must, please take me with you. Don't leave me alone.
Even without me, you know how to proceed forward, brave Captain Misha. The compass is waiting for you. Haven't you always wanted to be a better adventurer than me?
Sure.
Now go, board that train and start your journey.
Where are you going, Mikhail?
I'm going to clean the floor in the parlor car. I've promised the conductor.
Wait, first tell me, did Did you fix this watch?
Yeah?
I know what it looked like before. Its chain was broken, the back case torn, and the marks on the dial all worn out. How did you manage to fix it?
Magic.
Well, it's hard to explain, but I knew it could be fixed. It's the hands, Mr. Amundsen. Its hands were intact and pointing in the right direction, so I knew there would be a way to fix the rest.
Okay. Amundsen.
I see.
That's how you pronounce it.
You'll work with me from now on. Haven't you always wanted to tinker with this train? You're its mechanic now. As for the conductor, I'll do the talking.
But I only know how to fix watches.
Don't worry. You've got what it takes.
Does he though?
I'll teach you what you need to know.
Alright.
Where are you going, legwork? It's time to head to our next stop. I'm staying in Astana with Rosalina and Tiernan.
Alright.
I see. This place reminds you of home. The people of Astana have only achieved a tiny victory and still have a long way to go towards true freedom. Hanunu needs us. Don't worry, not all journeys lead to the stars. Even if I leave the Express, our path of trailblaze will continue.
But who's gonna actually repair the train?
Yeah. I knew you wouldn't stay on the Express forever. Leave in peace, my friend. And, take this with you. This is Mr. Amundsen's hat.
Oh.
But why?
It's not even his own hat.
When he departed, he said he would leave it to his best student. Well, I suppose the time has come. Farewell, legwork. Take care of Tiernan and Rosalina. And don't forget to write to us.
Right, quotation marks.
Where are you going, watchmaker?
Don't worry, Micah. Just going on a little trip. Someone has to be at the forefront of the interstellar frontier, and I'm the only former nameless in Penacony. So why can't it be me?
Wait, what happened to the other two?
Because you're all we have! Have you forgotten about Tiernan? The cosmos is way more dangerous now. What will happen to Penacony if we lose you too?
But what will happen to Penacony if we don't find a way out? Ah, Tiernan. How could I ever forget him? I've spent countless sleepless nights asking myself why I didn't go with him back then. We Nameless won't stop. Don't worry, Micah. It's just a matter of getting back to my old profession. Just wait for me to come back. But if, and it's a big if I don't come back in one piece, then you'll become the next watchmaker.
Where are you going, old man?
Oh, you're here.
Answer my question. What are you up to?
Relax, Gallagher. I just came up with a great idea. Wanna hear it?
I do.
Oh, come on. Aren't all your ideas just ways to get yourself killed? I may be blunt here, but you're the last remaining hero in Penacony. If you die too, the secret of the Stellaron will go to the grave with you.
Will it though? If you knew it.
I'm afraid there's no way
I guess
out
no
in
one else would
Penacony,
trust.
so I'll have to consider alternatives beyond Astana. We'll organize a festival using the Watchmaker's legacy as a facade and send invitations to the entire cosmos to gather people here.
So, a desperate struggle against the family?
Desperate?
don't we have you here, my friend? This task is challenging, but what hasn't been challenging for us along the way? Well, whatever you do, remember. Make sure to send an invitation to the Astral Express.
Oh shit, I forgot to send the invitation to the Astral Express! What
Misha!
do I do?
Where are you going?
Oh, it's you, Clocky. Take me to Dreamflux Reef. Last night, I had a long dream about the day we met. I want to write down that dream.
Write it down? Why?
Reasons.
Oh, so I won't forget it. Do you remember how you got your name, Clocky?
Because I'm a clock?
Of course! You told me that when you were a kid, you lived in a room full of clocks. Those wall clocks and pocket watches grew up with you and were your best friends.
Yes, but what I didn't mention was there's a funny misunderstanding behind it.
Really now?
I was a kid, and there was always a special pocket watch in my memories. It was with my grandpa, guiding him on his sea voyages and leading the way in his every adventure story. I wanted to have a pocket watch like that too. And that's when you appeared in my dreams.
Clocky going to the new world.
Every night, we boarded the compass and set sail together.
But you know what? It wasn't until the day my grandpa gave it to me that I realized it wasn't a pocket watch at all.
Wasn't? Then what was it?
It was a compass.
I was an idiot. I ran right into that one.
So, your name should have been Compassy.
No.
And the watchmaker is just a nameless.
We've arrived at Dreamflux Reef. So, where to next?
You know, Clocky, I don't think I'll be going anywhere else.
So this is another character who's basically dead that is a character we can use, so again.
I've traveled far enough, and it's time for a little break.
Oh. So, we'll set out again. When you're rested?
No, I'll stay here. And then, this is where it ends.
We end it now.
Where it ends? What do you mean, Misha? You told me that the trailblazing expedition would never end.
Oh, the trailblazing continues, just not with me.
Yeah, that's what I said. So now, it's up to you to decide your next destination.
My next destination? What's that supposed to be? I've been following you. Misha? You're acting weird today. If you're feeling down, we can just do what we usually do. With the clockwork.
No, I'm not feeling down. As for clockwork, yeah, it resolves all problems in this dream. So, Do you know what clockwork actually is?
I'm not quite sure.
Thing.
Well, everyone gets lost at times. They may hesitate and doubt which way to go. That happens in this dreamscape and beyond. But don't worry. Everyone goes through moments of uncertainty and hesitation. Eventually, they gather the courage to make bold decisions.
Bolder and
Whether it's
bolder.
calming, happy,
Depending on how often they fail.
angry, or sad. All they need is a little nudge to take that step toward where they truly belong. I'm leaving that little nudge with you, and I hope you'll share it with others. Such is the essence of clockwork, the will of the trailblaze.
Clockwork only goes around in a circle. Cutscene.
Clocky's hands spin around non-stop, indicating confusion, frustration, and weakness. But ultimately, people still need to move forward.
Just like your hands, always pointing ahead.
Where's that? Oh, I grabbed it.
This is where my journey ends. From now on, it is your path to walk.
Trailblazing means taking paths your predecessors forswore, and venturing even further. The Penacony in Mikhail's dreams does not belong to order.
The harmony.
I can't believe that Eon would cast a glance at Penacony at a time like this. Is it because of the resonance from the legacy of the Trailblaze? Or
why aren't you wearing the
perhaps
hat?
the bond between you is so strong that it even impresses an Eon?
Well, I've impressed multiple Eons at this
There
point.
might be another possibility. Perhaps they want to witness, on behalf of the fallen Eons, who will hold the future of Penacony.
If that's the case, on behalf of the Dream Master of Penacony and the 107,336
That's a very
members
specific
of the
number.
Oak family, I'm extending a formal invitation to all of you. I'm cordially inviting you all to the Penacony Grand Theater to participate in the upcoming Charmony Festival. And, of course, you won't be in the audience, but on center stage. Since the future of the Stellaron, Penacony, and even the entire cosmos is at stake, let's draw a conclusion there, in all fairness.
Quotation marks.
If you truly believe in Akavili's path, then show me their courage and determination.
As if I haven't to this point? Just saying. He's lucky he walked by, not by me, basically.
Does that mean he wants to fight us during the Charmony Festival?
Sounds good.
I'm afraid so. This is weird. Aren't Arc villains usually plotting some dirty conspiracy in the end?
Arch villains, by the way.
He actually said something like, "In all fairness." Could it be that he's
When March does something
underestimating
like
us?
that. It's so cute.
Well, in my opinion, Sunday is deeply committed to his own philosophy and genuinely wants to prove that the Order is right. I sensed a strong conviction and a desire for dominance in him. Maybe he won't accept the outcome unless he wins fair and square. That's why he'll give it his all in the upcoming battle.
But he's such a gentleman. If evil, why so nice? I flexed too hard with my swag. Guess I'll have to pay my dues, huh? I'll go. I prefer the more serious stuff. This one, I don't know why they give those joke answers, or at least so many joke answers.
So a follower of the Order won't be a big deal.
Anyway, We can't leave the Stellaron unchecked. This is about trailblazing
just
a
makes
bright future for
less sense
Penacony.
for this kind of game.
And
It makes more sense for like
fulfilling
Zenless.
and
It's
his
kind of jokey and
predecessors'
fun
long
anyway.
cherished wishes. Now that we've taken up the mantle, we can't afford to fail them.
However, the same applies to the Order. Their plan didn't materialize overnight, and they have the profound collective consciousness of the planet of festivities behind them.
Okay.
A desire to dream, to slumber and escape reality. All those hidden emotions have given birth to the sweet dream of the Order. They've harnessed the will of an entire planet to create an eon. This confrontation is far more complicated than a simple power struggle. To secure Penacony's future, fighting on the stage alone is not enough.
What do you mean? Are you not coming with us?
I believe Firefly is trying to say that she's heading off to another battle.
Before I left, the Destiny Slave told me that this journey would bring unforgettable rewards. Even though the script he gave me only had a few lines, I couldn't ignore them. Because one of the lines said, I'll experience death 3 times in the land of the dreams.
Okay, you've done once.
3 times? This can't be serious, right?
The first time was a painful death when I was stabbed by the Blade of Dormancy, which led to all subsequent events. The script will always come true, but in a way that will only be revealed when that page is turned.
Right.
So now I've understood the meaning of my second death. And I am prepared to face it. If all goes well, my efforts will provide crucial support for you. Only by achieving victory in this battle can we secure a future for Penacony. And only then, my third and final death won't come true in the most terrible form.
The most terrible form? Does that mean...
The true death. Where everyone in Penacony loses themselves completely in the eternal sweet dream of the Order.
We must do everything we can to prevent that.
Have you?
And I wouldn't say a truly
Firefly?
honorable villain, but he's at least more honorable than most.
Yes. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here.
Thank you again for your assistance for the Astral Express. May we meet again, in reality.
Yeah. Farewell, everyone. May your trailblazing expedition never end. I dreamed of a scorched earth.
Everyone, are you ready?
A new shoot sprouted from the earth. It bloomed in the morning sun and whispered to me. Like fireflies to a flame, life begets death. May we meet again in reality.
After today, Japella's name will disappear from cosmic history, and the Everflame Mansion will take its place. In the not-too-distant future, you'll receive an invitation. That's your next stop.
Land of the dreams. Penacony.
I hope you find whatever you seek there. Be it answers.
I don't know. It is a thing.
Or salvation.
You mean my 3 deaths?
Silverwolf told me about it. It's such a shame that it's not part of my script.
While I want to live, I'm never afraid of death. The opposite of death is eternal life, and that's something I'll never desire. People die, and I am no exception. Death is like a script, a fate that cannot be defied. But that's exactly why we have to choose where we want to rest forever.
Do you exist just to perish?
Are you not the same, Blade? The end you desire is not one dictated by others. If I were to die now, I would only be a weapon. I believe I should die as a human. Though its definition escapes me, isn't this the answer that ordinary people look for their whole lives? A name that can be carved onto their tombstone. A tombstone that belongs to me once bore the inscription, Glamoth's Iron Cavalry. Then it changed to Stellaron Hunter.
Glamoth?
But one day, it will bear the name Firefly. And all the brilliance she showed at the end of her life.
Apparently it's a republic destroyed by the Swarm.
That's quite unexpected, old man. Who would have thought your crazy plan would actually work? Do all you nameless fools just act on a whim?
Basically.
I can sense that this false sweet dream is coming to an end. The nameless may be young, but they had the ability to achieve this goal. Just like you did in your time. It's a shame you won't be able to see it firsthand. Maybe I won't either. Once something fictional is seen through, it ceases to exist. Yeah, not just those nameless. Even Mr. Wings is just like you.
Mr. Wings? Oh.
Stubborn.
Yeah, Thunder.
Won't listen or give up, no matter what. Well.
Also, you're assuming, by the way,
is
Chaos, going back to
unpredictable,
that,
I guess.
he actually has a driver's license, not just driving. Period.
If we weren't bound by those cursed paths, maybe we could have had some good talks. But in the end, we managed to do it. And now we can find solace. Remember how those idiots cursed us? They said, "Go to hell, you worthless traitors." Well, I don't know if they really meant it, but if longing for freedom means going to hell, then I'll be joining you soon, you fool. Let's get together and have supper again in hell.
That was awkward.
Oh, I almost forgot. There's one more thing. Here's to you. A glass of hello and goodbye, Trailblazer, to the imperfect tomorrow.
It's warm here, isn't it?
Back with Acheron again.
You're lucky to have found shelter from the rain. Let alone fresh berries in this desolate place.
I was just following the scent of life. It's particularly strong in a place like this. It's a shame these berries don't have much flavor.
Seriously? In case you didn't know, this fruit is pretty juicy. The only downside is that when you chew it, it becomes extremely spicy.
Oops.
Have you lost your sense of taste?
Probably.
I can still taste certain things, like a faint sweetness. Before coming here, I stopped by a place called Orkron. It had barren cliffs and nights lit by bonfires. Burgundy snow would fall from the sky, and when it landed on my tongue, it tasted like raspberries. The flavor wasn't exactly sweet, but it left a lasting impression. When I think back on my past, I realize that what's tying everything together isn't the big events, but rather these small yet unforgettable moments. Don't worry about it. Losing oneself is a reality that every self-annihilator must face. At least I haven't completely lost my senses and memories yet.
Well, congratulations on adding another footnote to your journey.
This guy's voice is so boring.
By the way, are you always alone?
No, I had a companion in Orkron. She's a short, nameless girl who aspired to explore IX. She always said she'd walk a path deeper and farther than Akavilis.
Quite an ambition for such a small girl. So, what happened?
She became stagnant water.
Well, my condolences.
Condolences. I don't need them. The girl left with a smile. She never regretted her choice and most definitely wanted me to say goodbye with a smile. So, that's what I did.
That's proof that you're grieving for her.
Or perhaps I'm just afraid.
Afraid? I rarely sense that emotion from you. What do you fear?
I'm afraid I'll forget the 30 days I spent with her, just like all the other days in my life. Most of them have already washed away with the rain, disappearing into an unseen realm. I fear that those vivid red memories will fade away too. There isn't much color left. And besides this,
it's taking forever.
Faint, warm red.
I have to end up
almost
earlier
nothing.
than the fight again. Part of it is, again, my conversation with him. Some of it is this thing's dragging so hard.
Accustomed to bloodshed.
Because I have experienced this warmth many times. Long ago, I promised someone that I'd bring it to more people. And that for every remaining moment of my life, I'd strive for as long as this red color still lingers. I have a chance to fulfill that promise. It represents a burning fire, a blooming flower, the berries in this cave.
Alright.
In the end, it will lead me beyond the horizon of existence. And on the other side, I will cut off nihility.
The one blessed by the sleeping and shapeless is considering how to kill them. But you're right about one thing. After spending so much time near this stagnant water, well,
when will this rain?
Perhaps when the sun...
Have you heard of a planet named Biaris Scamandros, Don Hung? It's one of the paradises under the influence of the Harmony, a sought-after wonderland for the inhabitants of the Dardanum Major and Minors. Half an amber era ago, the family held an unprecedented festival there. And after that, everyone on the planet became part of the family.
Do you think the same thing will happen on Penacony?
Yes. Or how else can we explain it? The family deliberately used the Watchmaker's invitation to keep all the Pathstriders here, but banished the Emanator of the Nihility.
Because of the Nihility, I'm rarely affected by the power of other paths, but somehow I can unconsciously infiltrate them. Maybe that's the risk they're trying to avoid.
I would disagree. Biaris Scamandros is not part of the credit
What is that
system
sound in the
connected to
background?
the Silver Rail.
Obviously, it's a bug of some kind.
It's nothing more than a remote civilization sheltered by the Harmony. But Penacony is different. If the family messes with Penacony, that would be like declaring war on almost half of the factions in the cosmos. They have no reason to do that.
No, they don't. If they truly serve the Harmony, that is.
What do you mean?
The path in Penacony is impure. The Harmony here has impurities.
Do you remember the ancient swarm disaster?
Ah, I just looked that up.
Tazeront, the propagation, brought endless havoc to the universe. And it eventually evolved into a fierce battle among all eons. 2 paths lost their eons in that war. The propagation and the order. Coincidentally, their downfall is related to a certain eon.
Shipe, the Harmony. Legend has it that they participated in the crusade against the Imperator Insectorum and devoured Anna the Order for unknown reasons.
Holy forgaroni. So you're saying
I
that
missed
the
you,
two
Boot Hill.
leaderless paths are working behind the scenes?
But I don't see any descendants of the propagation in Penacony. Could it be that the remnants of Beyond the Sky Choir are hiding within the family, trying to resurrect a fallen eon?
I can't say for sure, but they're definitely planning something for the Charmony Festival.
Whoa, Boo, this is getting way too complicated. Is this why you want us to leave Astana right away? Are you giving up?
The Charmony Festival will start soon. There's one thing that I need to confirm no matter what. A warp jump is the best way to do so.
Time is running out. I have another plan.
Which is?
Hold on. Are you thinking of using the Jade Abacus of Allying Oath?
Exactly. The assistance from the Lawfu Cloud Knights would be enough.
Think it over.
I love how the Lawfu background
You can only
BGM
use
came in
that
play.
once in your lifetime.
I have considered it thoroughly. My companions are... they're also once-in-a-lifetime treasures.
Not sure what calling in the Lawfu is gonna do, other than, you know.
Are you the only one here, my child? The Nameless is quite the diplomat. Our secrets have spread like wildfire within the family. And IPC starships are gathering towards Astana. This is a crucial moment for us. So, where is the chosen one who harmonizes the varied sounds?
What do you mean, Master? I'm right here in front of you, aren't I?
You know, she was supposed to be the star of the Charmony Festival. In our plan.
But the plan has changed. As her brother, I know she doesn't want to sing for the Order. So I'll take her place.
You've always been wise beyond your years.
Quotation
I'm
marks.
sure you understand the consequences of your choice.
Major consequences, sure.
If you consider this a betrayal, well, there can't be 2 suns in the sky. I'll step up and take down the other sun if necessary.
Do you believe in karma?
If karma exists, then everyone has their own karma. You have yours, and I have mine. And my karma has nothing to do with you, Mr. Gopherwood.
So he is betraying the Dream Master, as it is.
All right. Since you're willing to sacrifice yourself for her, I'll grant your wish.
Well, the compromise came sooner than expected.
You and your sister were born as twins of the Order. And one of you is destined to follow this path to the end.
Is this part of your plan?
Of course. You're still as clever as you were when you were a child. The opening is near. Go, my child. Seize the power of the harmony and reveal your karma.
I have one final question, Master. Why did you choose to bring the Order to Penacony? Wouldn't it have been better to choose a desperate world instead of a city filled with hope and dreams? Why?
It's for justice, my child. If we lose justice in our hearts, we'll make the same mistake as the Harmony did.
So, it's not you who manipulates the dreamscape with the Stellaron, but...
Well, that's where our conversation ends. Go ahead. The 107,336 souls of the Oak family have dreamed of this moment too many times.
I shall ascend to the heavens, becoming the scorching sun bathed in my light. My people shall flourish, while all evil shall be eradicated.
This is the interior of the Penacony Grand Theater.
It's quite exhilarating to be flushed into the air by Soulglad. But why is the venue still closed when the Charmony Festival is about to start?
And not only that, the entire theater is eerily quiet. No audience. Even if we're late, a grand theater like this shouldn't be completely empty. Let's explore around.
So we're gonna stop here because, oh my god, that took flippin' forever. The only thing is, I see the save. Do that first. If not, okay. I wasn't sure if the space anchor got activated yet. But yeah, no, we're gonna stop there because I am getting dragged and I still have to do a couple things for work right before I go to bed. Sorry about being super silent at the end, but I was half super focusing and half like, nice. Okay, I'm tired of this. Can we just move on to the next thing, please? Hopefully, we'll be able to finish this up come next week. Next week's schedule is going to change slightly because Tuesday is going to become bowling days moving forward. So that means that stream is going to move over to Thursday. Yeah, so I got Thursday to hit for streams starting next week. But until then, thank you guys for hanging out with me. You've all been 10 out of 10 with me, and I will see you guys come Monday for probably more Star Rail. If not, then we'll do something slightly different just to clean the palette before bowling on Tuesday and then Wednesday, Thursday, as I mentioned for the schedule change. Anyway, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, wherever it is that you are.